Hello friends, this is Wendy, and I am a scrapbooker and paper crafter and all that. It all started with photos. I love taking photos. This is my cat, Hedwig, who looks like an owl in this photo. But I like taking photos. I also like cutting and pasting and all that. I know there's multiple ways of preserving your photos, but for years, gosh, 20 plus years, I did the 12 by 12 size layouts in the big 12 by 12 size books that take a huge, they end up being 15 or 16 by the time you get inches, which means you need a tall, big shelf and sturdy because they're heavy. And I really like doing them in the little golden books. It's all more compact, and I personally think they're easier to read this way. Anyway, I want to do a shout out to my friend Cindy. I've had a hard week. So my friend Cindy said, get on your phone and make a video. And so that's what I'm doing. I sat down to this book. I had decided, so I was in this sad place. And I decided I'm going to scrapbook so I can feel better. Now, I think, I am not positive, but I think I did a video on this. And I made this and I stitched these pages into it. And this is some of the paper that I used. It had 5 signatures. So here's a couple of things. So when I sat down to it to scrap something, the pictures I wanted to scrap didn't go with the color of the paper, and it made me like close the book and walk away. And then the next day I was like, no, I'm going to try. And I sat and I just stared at, like, in fact, let me find the page. Oh, it doesn't matter what page, does it? It really doesn't matter. But let's say I stared at this page. I just stared at this page going, I don't like this color. I don't want to do, see, this is going to go with this. But I don't want to do this with this color. And it wasn't, see, Hedwig goes with any color because she's basically black and white and gray all over, you know, with some brown tones. But, you know, anyway. But I wanted to do some other pictures from right around the same time period. And they just weren't working. The other thing, I went through the pages, and this was the first one I did, and I made it, you know, I embellished it. This is last year, so I was very new to, oh wow, I was very new to working in the junk journals. So this one, I wanted to put a page protector, but I tucked it under and then tucked it under. I don't do that anymore. There's a lot of things I don't do anymore. And let's look at these ones really quick, because I didn't do anything on them. So I wasn't doing that. And anyway, I just thought I'm going to add some other stories into this time period. And that way I can, Hedwig likes her nest, let me just say. Then I can be a little happier about this book. However, this was the page I kept looking at, and I kept trying to force my pictures to go on there, and then I was like, that's not going to work. It is just sadly not going to work. So what I did is I got my scissors, and I started snipping. And I removed all of the threads, and I decided, first of all, I'm going to quote Louisa Heinzel, there are no mistakes in junk journaling. There just aren't. I changed my mind. I'm a woman. It's my prerogative. I changed my mind. So I snipped those all out. And if you see here, I'll pull out a ruler so you can kind of see them better. There were 5 signatures in here. So this would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I used acrylic paint. And I used one of my ball, I'm not even sure what these are called. Whatever. It was this one right here, and I dipped it in the paint, and so I could see them. So there's a couple of things now that I have to keep in mind. One is that for the integrity of the cardboard, I need to keep it either at 3, 1, 2, 3, and ignore the holes there. Or I can make it 5, so these cannot get too big. So this is about as big as they can get in order for them all to fit. So my signatures are going to need to stay more compact than I normally make them. So that's what I did. I just did that one day, and then I, ate chocolate. And these I'm just going to set aside. What I will do is I will sort them into the different colors. I have a lot of boxes with different color paper in them, and I will just sort them into those pages. And I will put all of this in a Ziploc bag along with photos that I want to use. And now I have this. So let me tell you the story. It all started with these photos here. And so I sat down with them, and I actually tried to force them into this book with those pages, and I thought, nope, I am going to go with something or a blank canvas that I can then ink and stamp and all that and make it go together. So what I had this. So, okay, this is my thought process. These are coffee mugs. I definitely don't use them as coffee mugs, but I use them and I love them, and I have this. I have a bunch. I have all of these plus even more. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this, but I didn't want to use it as a stencil. So I checked on what Tim Holtz had. So this is number 9. And this is Stampers Anonymous number 28. So they're very similar. They are not exact. They are very close. But like if you overlap them, here, I do it this way. You can see that though they are very similar, the dots are in a different place. They're really the same size pretty much. This is quite a bit different. Right? So, and then it says embrace imperfection, which I could put on every single page of every single junk journal that I ever make, because they're all imperfect. So I have these stamps, and but I had to order them. So I had to wait. And then they were delayed in the mail. And then I had to wait longer. And that was just excruciating. So let me set this aside. And I'm going, where am I at? Yes. So I sat down and did this. I wrote up a little story about this day. And you know what I had to do? I had to go through my pictures to see what else I had that I hadn't already printed up. And I went, I have other pictures from that day. So I did that much, and I ordered pictures, which I'm still waiting for them to come. And so I started on this. And I was going to put these pictures of the coffee cups on the back, but then, okay. So this is the tutorial. This is, the crazy mind of Wendy, but this is reality. So I have this tab here, and I have these torn pieces, which this is still a work in progress. I'm not done. And then I tore these papers here, which again, work in progress, not done. And I realized I could have gone all the way over that tab. So I may have to tear more from this paper, which is fine. I've got plenty of it. But the other thought was, I was thinking I will put the coffee mugs right here. But the thing is, When the stamps came, I thought, okay, I can do that there, but I want to finish this first, and this is going to slide in here, and then I would slide that out. But look what I've got on the back. I've already got something on the back. Now, I have found with this paper, and I love this paper. This is, I got it at Joann's. It's Park Lane, which is Joann's paper. And it is 65 pound. So it's got enough flexibility to it that it works really, really well for a page. It's definitely better than just regular paper, regular copy paper. Copy paper is 20, and this is 65. So this is 3 times plus more substantial, and I like it. I also like it, the Park Lane, because it accepts water and paint nicely. It's not anywhere remotely as good as some of the mixed media stuff that Ranger puts out, or watercolor paper, but it works nicely, and ink will move and all of that. It accepts it really well. I've had some where it just sort of, I don't know, it just sort of soaks in and makes a mess. And this paper does not do that. So that's why I like this paper. But it will, so if I'm going to do something on this side needs to, I can ink it and I can stamp it. But to do it where I'm spraying the inks and spraying it with water and then stamping it and kind of, you know, making a little bit of a mess, I have found that it will bleed through. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, so I pulled out my Tim Holtz stamp platform. There we go. Okay, and I have seen these platforms on Amazon. So my first thing is I want to kind of decide where I want this. So I kind of want to decide, do I want my splatter all down at the bottom here? So I'm going to mark this. Just going to put it basically in the middle. And I'm going to take the photograph and take it far, far, far away so I don't accidentally get ink on it, because that's always bad. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then, see, it's its own paper, so I can take care of it like that. And then this one, again, maybe with the splatter stamp. Maybe I'll turn it upside down and do it like that way, or kind of in the corner, like that. I do like that. So this one I'm going to put a little closer in so that I can decorate around. Okay, so a couple things. I like this. It's like a packaging thing. It's a foam. And I have found that if I put it underneath like one sheet of paper, it makes a better image. And now I have decided exactly where I want this splatter to be. So the next thing I'm going to do is put my sprays. So I'm hoping these colors will do what I want them to do. So the first one, they're all oxides. This one is frayed burlap. And this one is vintage photo. This one is antique linen. I kind of wanted to bring in, I still wanted it to be in the brown family, but I wanted to kind of bring in a little bit of yellow. And this is spun sugar. And I'm going to be shaking these for quite a while. They haven't been used in a little bit, so they need to be, it's like fingernail polish, right? Or spray paint. you need to get all of the pigment all in there. So I'm going to be shaking them, and then I will be spraying them out. But I'll be spraying them, and then I'm going to literally pick up this off of the platform and dip it into the sprays. So I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to, really doesn't matter because I'm going to dip it in here a few times. I'm going to set it down. Get the spray, the Oxide spray on here. And set it back in. Ow. I get a kick out of, Tim Holtz calls this a air hockey puck. But it's nice. It really helps. Okay, and how do I feel about that? I like that. So this is just a spray stain. I don't have to shake it because it doesn't have pigment in it. Right there. This was the vintage photo. Let's try this again. I'm trying to decide where I need it at. I think I need it over here. Okay, we're gonna now do this and see how it goes. I'm going to spritz this with just a light spritzing of water, just to kind of refresh it. I am gonna do it one more time, so I want to get some of these spots here. Let me try refreshing with some water to see what that does for it, and if it doesn't, then I will spray some more ink down. So I just want to show you. So this is the back side. If I had had a photo on there, or if I had already had a design that I was in love with on there, I would be very unhappy right now. Boy, that bled all the way into there. This is thin enough that if I want, I could put just your regular scrapbook paper, just the thin stuff over it, and not be unhappy with that choice. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but this also got sprayed on. Just little tiny flecks. I'm gonna leave it. I am okay that happened. I don't know exactly how it happened. Life happens. I don't know whether I think I will glue this on. I am definitely going to then use pattern paper or something on this side to hide that. So I'll have to plan that when I choose what photos and stuff I'm going to use. Now, I used to do tape when I did this, but I now am using my PVA glue, and the reason why is that the tape, when you put that tape down, it is permanent. I mean, it is cement. You have one chance one only chance. Put that paint down, put the tape down. Boy, I sure can't talk today. But if I put that tape down, and if I need to like scooch it over a little bit or something, there is no scooching. There is only unhappiness on my part because I had one chance. Whereas with the glue, I have the opportunity of moving it a little. I like this. So I'm going to take Antique Linen Oxide, and I'm just going to go around the edge. I think I'll start with this edge where it's folded. So let me just tell you my thoughts before I move on. A, too busy. Yikes. Now, so, okay. So I'll just go through thought processes, right? So you go, all right, no photos on there. Love it. Photos on there, too busy. Ooh, I still need to clean. Okay. But there's nothing else on here. So, and you can see where it bled through. So I'm just going to throw it away, right? No, I'm not going to throw it away. Let me clean this up real quick. So right now, there's some choices we can make. So again, too busy with the photos. I really like my photos to be the star of the page. And so there's a couple things I can do. One thing I can do is just save it for something else. Another thing I can do is save it and cut it up and use it for something else. Or what I can do right now is I can put a backing on it. I think I'm going to put a color immediately behind here. And then I will ink the edge of this. But now, well, when I cut it, you'll see it won't be nearly as busy. And I'll do the same thing here. Now, there's not a lot of room on either side, but I will put color around it, and then I will have just a little bit of buffer so that the photo is still the star. So, okay, so I went through my drawers. This is actually my pink drawer. Really not, I don't know, is that a pink? Kind of a rose color. And I do like it with this. And so what I'm going to do is, because I only have a little bit of it left, I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to do, I guess I'm going to do the frame, like cut out the frame. It's a little bit of a chunk in the middle. You'll see. I'll speed it up, but you'll see. And then I will tape that down, and then we'll put it on the white, and we'll see how that goes. let me go over a few of the basics just because I've got some new people in my channel that have maybe not watched every one of my videos. I buy these containers on Amazon. It's called Fine Line. I fill it with PVA glue. Again, I get that on Amazon. In fact, the PVA glue I get in a Subscribe and Save. Here's something that I learned like over 20 years ago. When you're adhering something paper to paper, you can use glue or tape or whatever you want, you know, but glue is really good. Paper is a bit porous and the glue is, you know, liquid, and so it sticks real nice. But if you are using a photo to paper, you want to use tape, double-sided tape. I also get this on Amazon on a Subscribe and Save. It's very reasonably priced. I've bought all kinds of different adhesives. Some I like, some I don't. I guess you just have to try things out and see if you like them or not. So now I've got my story right there. This tab was literally just sitting on my desk from some other project, and it was a reject, so I hadn't tossed it or anything yet. So there's that. One more thing I will share before I move on. These particular ones are by Ranger, and I have these that are gray. They're by scrapbook.com. Any of them will work. Round seems to work better than they used to have a square one, and that didn't work as well. So round works better. There's also domed ones, which I have some I have one right here. I have some dome sponges. Haven't decided which one I like better. Some prefer one over the other. I've been using these for years. This part lasts forever. The sponges last a good long time, and they're very easy to replace. There's Velcro, easy peasy. The difference between Oxide and this just shows you how old this is. I've had this for years. You can get re-inkers and just add more ink in there. Once the pad has shot or falls off, then you throw it away. But I've had this for over a decade. So, but Oxide has a bit of pigment in it, and it has a different reaction with water than the Distress ink. Let me find a Distress ink that has here we go. So, and these are both antique linen, and you can see that this is creamier, and this is not as creamy. They do different things with water. They do different things on the paper, and it really depends on the project. I have all of the Distress inks, all of his colors. I don't have all of them in Oxide. I just have my favorites. And I keep adding one or two or more all the time. So these last a good long time. You can get a re-inker. This is what a re-inker looks like. You just, it's got a little eye drop. You just put a drop or two on there, kind of spread it around, and it's all good. A number of makers actually use the ink out of the re-inker bottle for some of their crafting. I've never done that. I may try it, but I've never done it. By the way, the Oxide has their own re-inker, and the Distress ink that was a Distress ink re-inker, and the Oxide has a different one. Okay, so I am liking this a whole lot better. It is a lot less busy. And another tip is you want to leave a little bit of space here, just a little, and it's pulling up, so I'm gonna just clip it until it has fully dried. And it dries really quick, so I'm just gonna clip that. I know some people put paper so that it doesn't damage their photo down, you know, with the clip. I haven't found it that it's damaged my photos. And if I do find that, I will probably use that tip. And I may start using it anyway because it probably sounds like a good idea. So this piece was from the little bit that I saved from the inside there. And I'm going to do the title out of that. I need to make 2 E's and 2 T's. And the set only comes with 1. So this is the alphabet from Vault Seasonal Sketch. It came out just this year. Okay, so I also used collectors, the number on collectors for the date. And I used Vault Hippity Hop for the word prize because this little space here was less than this space here. So I had to go with an alphabet that would sit there. And I thought I would just kind of show you. I don't know if you can see it. There is this oxidation here. I've got glue everywhere. There's this oxidation here, but you can also see some of the stain. The stain doesn't oxidize. See the oxidation here? I'm using the oxides. So I like it. There is journaling. It's done. It's a pretty simple layout, you know, just with some stamps and inks. I used ink sprays, but I also used the other kind of inks. I will not use ink spray on this back side because then it will bleed through to the front, and I don't want that to happen. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, please give it a big thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.